What's up, gamers? Welcome to Articulate, the podcast where I'm anything but. I cannot stop picking topics that I'm apparently very invested in and just yapping for half an hour on them. Like, what the heck in frick, bro? This is the third time I'm trying to record something for this week. Technically for last week. But then I had to post a little short being like, gamers, I fucked up. Yeah, so today I thought we would just talk about a couple little pet peeves of mine. Because why would I go into tangents about that? Stop scraping your teeth on utensils. Why do so many people do that when they're eating? Like, just put the fork in your mouth. Actually, you're not going to see this. I'll do it out here with the magic of editing. Like, stick the fork in your mouth and then close your lips and then pull the fork out. Maybe don't close your lips with your fingers, that would be weird, but you get the idea. Just like you're sucking on a wiener. Why would there be any teeth involved at all? How is that not like nails on a chalkboard literally in your skull? I think it's like nails on a chalkboard and it's not even happening in my mouth. But you have to experience the metal scraping against your teeth, and then that sound is like in your brain. And I feel like if you did that for long enough, aren't you like scraping off bits of your teeth? If that's how you use a fork your whole life, like you're not gonna have teeth when you're 50 years old, dude. Anyway, I simply cannot yap for too long. I'm like, I can go on this tangent, I can go on this tangent. Hey, this thing reminds me of that thing. But I need to just stick to the two topics that I picked. Here we go, guys. The second pet peeve of mine is not having a phone number. Heck yeah, dude. This was all just an elaborate ruse to actually, it wasn't that elaborate. But yeah, I just wanted to complain about not having a phone number because it has really just absolutely thrown a wrench into things. Like, as I mentioned before, I cannot stop yapping for half an hour every single time I record. And really, this is scraping against this. It's kind of annoying. What if I just bring it all the way over here? I don't know if that's a good idea. I'll just drape it across my computer. That won't cause any problems. It's falling. Yeah, stupidly, YouTube's limit for how long videos can be is only 15 minutes if your channel isn't verified. Like, verified with a phone number, not like has a little check next to it. And the weird thing is, I verified my gaming channel, which is the one that I used to make this channel. They're like under the same email or whatever. They're connected. And so now my podcast isn't very podcast length. And also I'm a little bit worried that when I start actually uploading like longer stuff, just absolute freaking shit post yapping for an hour, people are going to be like, hey, this isn't edited and funny and good and great and awesome. Also, maybe I could just not edit these ones as much. But how could I not, dude? Every time I get in the editing bay, I can't just, I don't know why I called it an editing bay. I don't think it's an editing bay if it's just a laptop and an SSD. But yeah, when I see a possible joke, I just have to make it because it's funny. And also, I have moved away from everyone that I knew. So I kind of wanted to like keep in touch with them. Just send them like weird lore videos, despite them not even knowing that I do this. So none of what I would send them would even make sense to them. And also, I'm about to say something that if you were on my side before and you were like, hey, not having a phone number is annoying. I don't know. Was anyone ever on my side with that? Doesn't seem like something that people would be on your side about. I think most people would be like, get a job, loser, pay for your phone bill, But if you were miraculously on my side before, this will definitely ensure that you're not. Because I am, in fact, a spoiled, degenerate, lazy Nepo baby. And not Nepo baby in like the sense that my parents are rich and famous, but they have sort of given me everything. And I feel like I've probably taken that for granted. Like pretty much everything I own was like gifted to me by somebody. I have bought a few things. Also, I'm not that big of a spender, but I kind of have expensive taste. I don't know about expensive taste. To me, it's very logical. I'm like, I want nice things that work very well and they're very cool and awesome and great. Usually that kind of stuff is expensive. Like I did in fact buy this laptop. I bought the SSD drive. Okay. The D stands for drive. Yeah, I'm looking around my room for other things that I've purchased. There are other things. I do not remember what they were. Oh, I did buy a scooter a long time ago for my very first job working at, I'm not going to tell you where I worked, but I bought a scooter to get there and back. It was pretty crazy. Definitely shouldn't have done that. I think I've said this before. I'm not going to go into why I shouldn't have done that. You can find it somewhere maybe. Unless it's one of the ones that were way too long because I was yapping. How long is this one, actually?
Meow.
Let's freaking go. I've only been going for 10 minutes. That means I can yap for maybe like 5 minutes more. Well, I'm going to shoot for 5. It's going to be like 20 minutes more. But hopefully I'll be able to edit this down, What was I saying? Oh, I was going to say that I am a Nepo baby. I do not pay for my own phone bill thing. I definitely would like to, I think. I don't know. This is me really trying to save myself from being a spoiled Nepo baby. I do think having independence would be really cool and great and awesome. I'm just a very weird person, and there has to be like, I'm just very uncomfortable in certain scenarios. I'm like not independent and like an individual most of the time. That was a really vague way of saying nothing. I was trying to allude to something, but I'm not trying to spill all my personal beans all over the internet. That was a weird thing to say. People definitely don't say that. That's not a phrase. I don't know why I said that. I don't know why I keep saying every single other word, because I'm like in the process of thinking in my brain. I'm in my brain, and so outside I'm like every time I'm trying to think of something. I keep looking, you can't see my eyeballs, but I keep looking up. There's this little window here. There were people walking back and forth earlier. They're like building a fence or something out there. It's pretty spooky, pretty scary. But also I have been right outside that window, and it is like that is the ground floor. Like my room is mostly under the ground, you know? Like the window starts like up here. This is like where the ground is. Cause this window, I was gonna open the blinds. I'm moving way too much. I'm gonna have to move the sensor bar a lot. But I was about to open the blinds and just reveal what's there. I could deal with that a little bit, maybe. Unless there's people out there. You probably won't be able to see it, I don't know. I have my camera on pro mode. Yo, I didn't even check to see where it was focused. I might be blurry this whole episode. Or my body might be blurry anyway. You know, you won't be able to see any little motions out here. I don't really care. At least the sensor bar won't be blurry. Why are YouTube shorts so freaking like, why do they get so many views? I guess maybe the views aren't as, I don't even know. Does YouTube just not care as much about YouTube shorts? Will they just push anything? This wasn't always the case, but the last short that I uploaded on this channel, which was the first short from this channel, got like 1,000 something views in a matter of like minutes. It was crazy. I was like in the middle of uploading it and I was doing something else on my computer. Yeah, I was working on my computer. I was uploading that on my phone. I checked my phone. I was like, wowee. It just uploaded. I'm gonna post a little comment on it just because, I don't know, I post comments on everything I do now for some reason. I don't know if that helps algorithmically, but it just helps me because I just don't like a boring comment section, you know? Like if I've made a comment, maybe someone else would have been like, ew, empty comment section. I'm not gonna make a comment. Maybe they're like, hey, I'm gonna make a comment, even though the creator of the video is the only one who's made a comment. What the hell was I even saying? Why did I get here? YouTube Shorts, that thing got like 1,000 something views. I already said that. But yeah, I was like trying to make a comment on this video that just uploaded. It was at like 800 something views. I was like, what the heck? I literally just uploaded this. What is happening? Is this me blowing up overnight? It wasn't. And then after I made the comment, I refreshed and it was over 1,000 views. It was pretty crazy. But then it stopped getting views. I guess that's normal. You know, YouTube's gonna push like new shorts, and then I guess if you make a really good short, it might last a while. Also, maybe it's not YouTube, maybe shorts viewers, it's a lot lower risk, I guess. I don't know if that's the word I'm looking for, but you know, to watch a longer form video that gets pushed to you, it has to be really interesting, especially if it's like 30 minutes long or something. Because people's time is important. And why would they watch my cool, fun gaming videos when they could watch brain rot for several hours? You know what I mean? I don't really know where this has gone. I was going to talk about stuff. I don't even know the point I was going to make. I was just going to say, like, I'm a Nepo baby. There was other stuff there, but I definitely didn't write it down. I've just written down the sort of topics and maybe how to get there. That's not true. I've actually written out most of the things that I've said out loud. Somewhat. Kind of a little bit. So I really didn't want to go on tangents and stuff. And so I was like, let's just really write it down, because otherwise, if there's no path to follow, I'm just going to run in circles, bro. I'm just running all over, getting lost in the woods. Why did I just said, twice. I'm actually a psychopath, dude. Like, learn how to speak properly, my guy. I don't think there's really anything else to say other than listen to And You Who Drown in the Grief of a Golden Thing by King Mala. It's this album that maybe came out a while ago. Not like a while ago, but when I listened to it, it wasn't like brand new. It was like a few weeks old, which maybe isn't long enough to actually be saying anything about it, but it's kind of like I haven't listened to the new Joe album because I'm an idiot, dude. Like, what the heck in frick? I feel so bad sometimes because I'm such a fake fan, even though I liked Joe before he was cool. The same thing happened with Sabrina Carpenter. Like, what the heck? That album has been out for like a year and a half, maybe not a half, but at least a year, and I still haven't listened to it, even though I liked Sabrina Carpenter before she was cool. But yeah, I need to listen to that Joe album, and you need to listen to And You Who Drown in the Grief of a Golden Thing by King Mala. Like, look at this. I don't need to do editing. I'm gonna just swap tabs over to this. I cannot stop listening to this freaking song. Salvation Violation. Is that how you say it? Maybe. Sometimes I want to say Salvation Violation, like real quick, but I'm like, the two colons are there. Maybe I'm guessing that means it should be a little bit more spaced out. Yeah, this song really reminds me of a certain someone, maybe. It's very like villain, very like badass, maybe. Yeah, it reminds me of a certain someone. If you are from the distant future, then you might know who I'm talking about, depending on how distant. I don't I don't know when I'm gonna like blow up. I keep saying blow up. I don't know when I will have a big enough audience for them to go back and listen to my boring podcast episodes. But maybe you know who I'm talking about. Maybe you don't. Listen to this whole album. It's very cool. I think a lot of the time I want to say demonic because it's very like cult-esque. King Mala is really good at that. She literally has a song called The Cult Leader. It's very, if you have like a villain arc, like me and my villain arc playlist, then literally don't even wait to listen. Just add this song to the arc and maybe the playlist. And if you listen to all of these freaking songs, dude, Ode to a Black Hole, the song's legendary. And You Don't Know Me, literally that song is so messed up and depressing. It makes me cry every time. Not actually though, I'm not much of a crier, much of an emotion haver, you know? It's sort of like how I'm always joking about how I'm a narcissist because I'm ever so slightly a narcissist. I'm also a sociopath. So that's cool. That's great. That's awesome. I need to shut up even though it's only Wednesday and I could in fact take a while to edit this. But also for some reason my videos have been very dense lately. I'm just too comfortable now. It's annoying, you know? Like if I want to make a 15-minute episode, I can't yap for 30 minutes and then cut out all the pauses and it's like 6 minutes long. Now it's like 20 something minutes long, which is pretty crazy. I've learned how to fill a pause with words and things. I was going to say earlier, if you're not from the distant future, I know I just said I'm not going to be yapping. This is the last thing. If you're not from the distant future and this channel actually is picking up traction, maybe for some strange reason, like did I say that properly? Is consistency really that key on YouTube? Like I've been uploading more or less every week on this channel for a certain amount of weeks. I don't remember. It's like 20 something weeks. That's a while. It doesn't seem that like it's not that many weeks per se, but that's like a long period of time, you know? Certainly the longest period of time I've ever worked on anything. I don't know. Does a gaming channel count? I've had that for like 3-ish years, but it's not consistent whatsoever. Lots and lots of time in the beginning where I like basically quit. Like I went several months without even recording an episode. It was very strange back then. Like the way I would have to record and there were lots of people around. I was very afraid and whatnot, which I guess I still am, which is sort of maybe showing my strange little voice and all the weird things it's doing. But that has to be the end. Otherwise, I'm going to find another topic somehow, and I'm going to yap about that for all eternity. I need to stop moving. Every time I make a podcast, I'm like, okay, I was going to do a bit where I like went side to side, but I'm like, actually, I don't want to edit that. It's not difficult to do. It's just kind of tedious. Moving keyframes and then going frame by frame, make sure none of my skin and flesh is showing. Leave a comment, I suppose. I need to shut up. Also, that's weird to say something after leave a comment, I suppose, because usually that's like the end. That's where I cut it off.